Hey y'all, it's Scotty here. Today we're in the attack zone here in the fairway. Hit a nice tee shot. And now I'm going to teach you how I like to attack different pins on the green. Basically, my thought process is coming into the green, I want to hit the highest percentage shot possible that's going to get me, at the worst, to be on the green. So typically I'm working the ball from the middle of the green towards the pin. And the shot that I try and hit depends completely on how I feel over the ball, and a lot of that depends on where the pin location is. So when that pin location is on the right side of the green, like for instance this front right pin, I believe I have 161 to that pin. And since it's on the right side, it's kind of an in-between number for me where I could hit wedge, and it may get there, may not get there. But if I hit 9-iron, I know the ball's gonna get there, and it's a lot easier for me to take some off than it is for me to add a bunch of yardage to a shot, especially when that pin's on the right side of the green, because in order for me to add yardage, I gotta hit a draw, especially with a shorter club. So at 161, I'm gonna take 9-iron. In order for me to take some off of it, I'm gonna choke down it just a little bit. I'm gonna make a touch of a smaller swing, and then I'm gonna try and see that ball curve from the middle of the green towards the pin. Right now we got the wind down off the right, so the ball's not gonna curve very much, but basically I'm trying to use the middle of the green to kind of work that ball towards the pin, and then all I'm trying to do is get a putt. I'm not trying to get an uphill putt. I'm not trying to be too perfect. I'm taking a good conservative line, and I'm just trying to hit my shot. Pretty much it. So choke it down a little bit, trying to fade it a touch, and then, so my finish line probably on this shot's gonna be just right of that pin that's in the back, and then once I am committed to what I'm doing, I don't think about anything else. I'm just trying to hit the shot. Right there would be a shot I'd be pretty happy with. A good example of something I do differently. So I believe it's also 161 to that pin on the left. And the way I see it in my head, that totally changes the shot. My stock with a pitching wedge is probably 142, and my stock with a 9-iron is about 161. And with us having this wind down off the right, it's much easier for me to see myself drawing a pitching wedge to that left pin. With the way the wind is right now, we probably got about, I'd say 10 yards of help. So it takes that 161 down to 151. And then what I'm gonna try and do is add a little bit of draw and kind of trap that loft down just to get that extra, 6 to 7 yards where I can actually get the ball to the pin. But like I said, it's a lot easier for me to see that with the pin being on the left side versus it being on the right side. If it's on the right side, I gotta start this ball almost right at the green to ride it back, which I don't really wanna do. I wanna see the ball coming from the middle of the green towards that pin. That'd be another shot I'm really happy with. Finished just right of the pin, fat part of the green. I know after hitting both of those shots, I'm gonna have 2 really good looks at birdie. And that's pretty much exactly what I'm looking for when hitting shots from the fairway. You're just trying to get a look, not trying to be perfect. Lastly, we got the back pin. I think it's 174 to that pin, and you notice how it's sitting up there on the tier. So there's a couple different ways that I can try and do it. If the greens are really firm, I'd probably try and hit a lower shot to where I'm bouncing it from the middle of the green up to that pin. I don't think these greens are firm enough, so in order for me to try and get a great look at it, I'm gonna aim to land it pretty close to just barely over the tier. If I hit that tier and it comes back down towards the middle of the green, I'm not gonna be too upset. If I hit it and I hit it too hard and I get too aggressive and I airmail the green, then I'm in a heap of trouble, and that's not a good thing, especially with a 9-iron from the fairway. At 174, I'd say there's probably 10 to 15 of help. It looks like I need to land it about 5 short of that pin. So that's basically almost 20 yards off of it. So I'm gonna hit a pretty stock 9-iron. And this one, it looks like it's almost on the left side of that tier too. So I'm just gonna hit it right at it. And it's pretty much just a stock shot. Trying to be aggressive to my spot and not really worrying about where the pin is or how much the wind is gonna affect it. I'm just trying to execute the shot. I think just really the basic principle for me is picking the highest percentage shot to where I can make an aggressive swing knowing that I'm playing the appropriate shot. And from there, I'm just trying to execute. I'm not really thinking about what's going to happen with the wind. I'm not going to be thinking about where the ball's going to bounce. I'm just trying to execute the shot. And sometimes it works out really well like it did there. And then sometimes you just happen to hit a poor shot and then you go figure it out from there. I'll hit one more draw to that left pin.